What's going on, people? TroopzTV back again. Obviously, FA Cup time, preview time. So let's get straight into this one right now. But before we start, I woke up to the news yesterday that Ramsey was in talks with Juventus. We all know that he's going to leave at the end of the season, but it's what club is he going to go to? You get me? And apparently, he signed a pre-contract with Juve. Obviously, he's down to the last 6 months of his contract, so he can talk to clubs in Europe. And apparently, Juve is his preferred destination. And if he does go, good luck to Ramsey. You get me? 3 FA Cup, 2 FA Cup final goals, winning goals. Thanks for that. Your career started off pretty well at Arsenal. You get me? And then man like Shawcross cut you down. Stoke away. Never forget that game. And then, to be honest, you've never been the same player, you get me? There was that one season when we won our first FA Cup after 9 years, obviously the Hull FA Cup season, when you bossed it, fam, you get me? But that was really the only season that you really done bits. But thanks for the FA Cups and that, you get me? Obviously, man, wishes you luck, but it is what it is. We have to move on. We have to replace Ramsey, understand? Because there's a lot of players we've let go recently and we haven't replaced them, you get me? Like Ox, Wally Walcott, fucking Sanchez. Like, there's a couple in it we haven't replaced. Ramsey's gonna go now, so we have to replace him. You get me? Because for me, Ozil's not a man you can rely on. You get me? We can't rely on Ozil, so we have to go in the market. Will we go in the market? Only God fucking knows, blood, because we got a dickhead owner who don't give a fuck about what the club does. Doesn't give a shit, blood. He's just sitting there in his ranch in America, picking his fucking nose, scratching his ass, not giving a fuck, mate. You understand? But right now, Ramsey's out the way and that Cronky prick's out the way. Let's get into the preview. Obviously, we take on Blackpool this weekend. We played them earlier this season in the Carabao Cup at the Emirates. We knocked them out 2-1. And it was a tough game, you get me? They brought a lot of travelling support. They had like majority of the clock end. They generated a lot of atmosphere. And it wasn't an easy game, but it wasn't a tough game, innit? And understand? When it went 2-1, they had a few chances, could have took it to extra time or penalties. I don't even know the situation with the Carabao Cup now. I think it's a penalty thing. They could have maybe taken it to penalties, but we managed to get through. And obviously, we're playing them at their ground. We're going down to Blackpool. And this is probably Blackpool's biggest game since they were probably in the Premier League at their ground, you understand? Because obviously they're in League One at the moment. They sit in 10th. They lost their last game at home to Sunderland, you get me? And they've also got hella problems with their owners, you understand? They want their owners out. These men are always protesting. They hardly have any fans turn up to the ground, you understand? Like, I do not know what the capacity is going to be because we're taking 5,000 down there. And it might just be 5,000 Arsenal fans, man, you get me? But I do expect the Blackpool fans to come out because it is the Arsenal. It is a big game. It is the biggest game that you lot have seen for maybe 4 years. Let's be real, you understand? Since the days of Charlie Adam when you lot was in the Premier League. You lot was unlucky to get relegated still, you understand? I remember that last day you went up to Old Trafford and I think you lost 4-3 or something, you get me? But in this game, like, I think we can afford to rest a few man, you get me? I think we can afford to rest a few man. Because the Christmas period has been peak for us, you get me? Like, we hold corn at Liverpool. We drew at Brighton. Obviously, we won our last game against Fulham 4-1. But it wasn't a 4-1 game, you get me? It wasn't a 4-1 game. It was more like a 2-1 game. It was just, in the last 5 minutes, Fulham just capitulated and we got the 2 goals, you get me? But in this game, we can rest a few man. So, like, me personally, like, I'd rest Aubameyang. I'd rest Torreira. I'd rest Xhaka, Socrates. But I'd put them on the bench, you understand? Because I remember last season we went to Forest and we picked a kind of makeshift team. I never had a problem with the 11. My problem was the bench. You understand? The bench weren't strong enough. And let's get into my 11 now, innit? Because my bench is hella strong, blood. You get me? Obviously, in goal, I'm going to put in Czech. You understand? He's the cup goalkeeper. And let's be real, this season, he's done pretty well every time he's gone in. You understand? He ain't made a mistake. Leno's my guy, innit? But Leno has made a few mistakes. Czech ain't made a lot of mistakes. I can't even remember Czech making a mistake, blood. The only problems he has is with his kicking, you get me? But his actually goalkeeping ability has improved still. So for me, Czech goes in goal. Right back, I'm going to go with Carl Jenkinson, you get me? I'm going to drop Lichtsteiner. That guy is shocking, blood, you understand? Like, he is fucking shocking, blood. Like, he should have just stayed in Serie A, fam. You understand? Because that Premier League pace is too much for him, bud. So for me, Jenkinson will start as the right back. Centre-back pairing, here's where it gets a bit weird now, you get me? I remember Wenger used to play this player as a centre-back, and Emery even put him in as a centre-back this year in a Europa League game. So the centre-back pairing I'm going to go with is Laurent Koscielny. I'm going to put Koss in, you get me? Give him some more minutes, get him up to full fitness. I'm going to put El Neni next to him, you understand? I'm going to put Mohamed El Neni next to him. You lot might be sitting there thinking, whoa, El Neni, like... But we put him in the Europa League, and I think that's a game that we won 3-0 away from home, you get me? So, and then he goes in for me, and then obviously left back, Nacho's not fit at the moment. I'm going to give Kolasinac a rest because I think he's done really well going forward, but defensively he's been shocking. So I'm going to put AZ Maitland-Niles in as the left back. Obviously, we're going to go over 4-2-3-1. So the two in the midfield we're going to go with is, I've already said that I'm resting Xhaka and I'm resting Torreira. So the midfield pair is going to be Joe Willock and Guendouzi. And then obviously the three behind the one, I'm going to go with, on the right, I'm going to put in a Iwobi. Number 10 row, I'm going to put Ramsey. On the left-hand side, I'm going to put in Saka. You understand? Obviously, he had his debut against Burnley. Didn't really get much of a chance to shine because he never got the ball. But the game that he played in the Europa League, I think it was the Carabao game at Emirates. We won 1-0. He done really well. But could have got a goal. And he looks like a top prospect for the future. So for me, Saka goes in. And then up top, you lot already know, like our blood clot said, my brother. Now, I know a lot of you will probably put Nketiah in. But I'm going to put Laka in. And I'm going to put Nketiah on the bench with the likes of Aubameyang, Torreira, Xhaka, Socrates, and Kolasinac. That's my 11. That's my bench. Score prediction, I think we will get through. You understand? I think we will concede. Because the defence is all over the fucking place, blood. And if I'm putting Oneni in there, we're due to concede, blood. So, I'm going to go with Blackpool 1, Arsenal 3. Let me know your predictions, your lineups in the comments below. You don't already know. Subscribe to TroopzTV. I see you in Blackpool. I'm out.